Okay, hello my wonderfuls. So I'm gonna be watching the film essay that they dropped. I think it's gonna like kind of remind me a little bit of the like Spotify thing that they did, like the little interview, or kind of like it was kind of like an interview, but also like them using like music or them to kind of share the entire like journey or like their individual journeys to becoming or coming into the group. If you guys have seen that video, I don't know if y'all have, but obviously that will be like linked in the end card because that's what it's gonna remind me, what it reminds me of. But yeah, so I'm curious to see like what this is gonna be. I'm assuming it's them gonna be talking again a little bit more about their journey to again coming to this point where like they're gonna be having their first full length album, and I'm assuming this is also part of that like promotion as well. You know, kind of them, gearing up more so for the drop of the full album. But we're just gonna go ahead and watch y'all.
한동안 계속 걸어다녔다.
Ooh.
스스로 어디에 있는지도 모른 채로. 우리의 집은 어디 있는 걸까?
Oh, he took him out of the hospital.
나는 생각했다.
No, he's working at a.
봉투 필요하세요?
Is it Jahan?
카드 여기 되지.
No, it's not.
아저씨, 안녕하세요.
오늘 일찍 일어나셨네요.
Oh, Nari will being a patient. Oh, I gonna make eye contact with him. Oh! Ooh. I'm gonna say like.
귀여워. 강아지 이름이 뭐예요?
가자.
Oh. Oh, we're kind of like maybe antisocial, doesn't like talking to people. Makes sense. I'm like that too, but that way that he just left, that was funny. Did they not ring the doorbell? Wouldn't it make more sense to ring the doorbell? Is it? Oh. Oh man, they made him look. Oh, they made him look haggard a little bit. Oh my god, is he like a shut-in? Or depressed or something? And just like shrouded in darkness, huh? So there's like no water. You had a whole case of water outside your door. Oh, is that how they're all gonna connect essentially? Sir, how do you fall asleep at the park and like your dog wandered off? Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm a dog person, like oh my god, like his whole world's about to like, yeah, is like, cause that's like, I'm assuming like that the dog is supposed to be like his best like friend and like the person he cares about, or the thing he cares about the most, you know? Oh. They're gonna make me cry! Oh my god. He's like, are you okay? Oh. Oh. He's gonna pass them around for him? Or did he leave? And he left them behind? Oh! Oh, so they already know each other.
치운 거는 돈 벌어야지. 야, 이거 여기 좀 붙여줘. 나 간다.
Ooh, I already like the song in the background. That's Jaehyun. Sorry, he needs to go. Oh, 100%. Like, what's gonna happen is that, like, oh, he's gonna go because of the dog. He's gonna go out because he has to take the dog to go potty. So he's gonna be like, oh, like, gonna be a little bit more open, I guess, to going outside and not being stuck inside. And maybe he'll see the poster. Oh. Oh.
저 강아지 여기 있어요.
So you sound so depressed. Oh my god.
피자 나왔어. 먹자.
Oh, he knows Ryu.
안 먹어. 별로야? 나와서 걸을래?
Oh. He's gonna break him out. Oh my god, why am I getting him in my feels with this? Good lord. Yeah. What about the pizza? You're gonna meet. Why would you meet someone at night for your dog? I'm assuming is it a Whedon? I don't know if it's a Whedon. It looks like a Whedon, but I could be wrong. The hair's longer than a normal Whedon.
식사하셨어요?
아.
Oh, I like how his shirt says mysterious too, because
여기에요.
oh, they live in the same building? It literally looks like the same building. Yeah, y'all live next door to each other! Because of the empty, like all the water bottles outside. That's his house. Oh, he's gonna take a picture of them, huh? Oh.
저 특별한 게 없어가지고.
저 사실 바로 옆집이에요.
바로 옆이요.
네. 제가 많이 안 나와가지고
가끔 놀러 오세요. 먼지도 좋아하는 것 같더라고요.
Oh, the dog's name's Dusty. It's cute.
그래도 될까요?
Oh.
고생 많았어요. 짐 다 챙기면 나오세요.
네, 감사했습니다.
Oh, is it Jaehyun, the one who's been putting the pictures up on the wall? Oh. He's basically the connector, essentially. Oh, oh, this is making me get my feels.
어디서 만난 적 있는 사람들 같더라. 근데 왜 형 사진 없어?
나? 아, 안 보고.
줘, 카메라 줘.
He doesn't have anyone to like
우리
take a
집은
picture
어디
of
있는
him.
걸까? 나는 생각했다. 어쩌면 시간이
Oh.
잠깐 멈추는 곳인지도 모르겠다고.
다 했다.
Oh, he's an architecture student. Oh. Aww. Aww. Ah, oh my god, that kind of my eyes got a little teary eyed. Oh lord. I wonder if did they do it like the stories in the order of like how they joined the like KOZ as like trainees or like as like in order of like the finalizing of the group, because if you notice like Jaehyun seemed to be like the last one we see get officially introduced to like this like video, so or this whole like concept of it, where it's like again that's kind of what happened, where he was the last one to join, but essentially he ended up being like the missing piece of the puzzle that they kind of needed to make the group whole, and then he ended up being the leader. So I'm just like, oh, and then like I like how again I guess it's interesting how like for Leehan and Sungho, like they both essentially lived next door to each other, but as they both and their characters in this seem both like someone who don't like to socialize much with people, but in more obviously in Sungho's case, like he rather just stay inside instead of like going out, whereas Leehan, like he doesn't mind, like he actually likes going out, but he doesn't like talking to people or get close to people that easily. So that's why like he would like, whenever they asked him like, oh, like what's your dog's name, he's just like completely like brushed them off and like didn't even like try to like talk to them or like even say like, oh sorry, like I don't want to talk to you, or I don't know y'all, like, you know. So it's kind of giving off that. And then seeing how Tessan obviously knew Woonhak and both Riwoo, but like it's two different things. Like obviously like Woonhak is like, you know, working while being a student, whereas for some reason like Riwoo I guess was in the hospital, maybe he was just like sick or something. And then like again the whole like tying factor of everyone like within like the different like stories or different like friend groups in it is Jaehyun, because Jaehyun ends up being like, oh, Jaehyun's the one who ends up knowing Woonhak, and you know Woonhak ends up knows Tessan, Tessan knows Riwoo, and then on the other side you got Leehan and Sungho both knowing each other and living next to each other. So I'm like, oh, you know what it really reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the like BTS's like whole like trope or like story for like the most beautiful moment in life, where like or like even like their webtoon where you know they I don't remember if they were all like associated with each other like friendships, and then they the rest of them kind of like meet here and there afterwards. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that, if that makes sense, you know, like how they had like their little how they had like the trailers here and there, or like for the actual MV they actually have moments of that where we see I think it was is it Taehyung or is it Suga? I forgot. One of them was like running away because like they like are covered in like blood, like they basically like was self-defending themselves or something like that. It kind of reminds me of that. And then someone else like finds him in the alleyway and like helps him out. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that, but not as apparently that dark, even though it is kind of dark again, because it does seem like again Sungho's character seems like very like depressed, and I'm just like, why are y'all trying to like attack me there with that? Like I kind of like I felt kind of like I could like relate a little bit to Sungho's character, not that I'm depressed or anything like that, but like just like him like not liking or not wanting to like socialize or like leave the house essentially, and kind of be like quote unquote like a shut-in in a way, like kind of that way. I felt like I was like that kind of like hit me a little bit close to home for me. But yeah, I'm just like completely wrong with what I thought it was going. I didn't know they were actually gonna be like talking about like essentially like the concept of what the album is gonna be essentially. And I'm just like, okay, that makes more sense though, because again I don't think they would do it. It makes it more sense because I don't think they would do a whole other like thing like I was telling you about, like where for the Spotify one, it was actually them talking about like how they came into becoming like or starting as a trainee, or like what their interests were when they were younger, and then like what made them like ultimately choose the path that they were on. So like here it's like kind of a little bit taking, not necessarily like I don't know exactly if it's supposed to be taking parts of their actual like lives or not, or if it was just like it's kind of like, you know, a little bit like dramatizing it a little bit, why like, you know, adding a little bit more story and concept of like actual like fictional way of it, but still in a way also like tying each of them together to the point where like it makes it seem like inevitable that they'll all end up getting together or knowing of each other, because obviously for the only two we didn't get to see like Lihan and Lihan and Sungho kind of associate with everyone else, but the connector there was like that. Obviously, Taesan saw Lihan like what's it called, searching for his dog or whatever, and like he sees that he like I guess he like leaves in a fit of like not frustration but a fit of like, oh, I don't know what to do, like I'm like in what's it called, like despair essentially, because like that's his like best friend, and then like, he's the one who like picks up the flyers and like helps distribute them. So like I guess like that's how like that connector happens, but we didn't see, you know, Sungho essentially like associate with anyone else yet. But I don't know if there's gonna be like a part 2 or something, or the MV itself that's gonna like tell us a little bit more, like show us a little bit more of like them meeting each other. But I like how they kind of went that direction, where again the whole concept is being like home is like essentially where like the heart is, or like home is essentially like where you make it essentially, like so it's like, you know, where, you know, whether that be like, you know, your own family, or whether that be like friends or like people you meet and like they change you and you end up feeling like they're your comfort zone. So I feel like I really like how they did that, because essentially like it is like that, like, you know, they all were like people who didn't know each other at first, and then through the similar goal or similar like dream that they all had of wanting to debut or be a trainee and like then debut in a group, that's how they ended up, you know, finding each other, or like ended up being put in the same group or meeting each other that way, and then, you know, continuing on, having to learn about each other and get along with each other, and like essentially becoming their own like homebrew, because it's they like even they also live together obviously, right? But you know, they end up being a group, a K-pop group or any like boy band group. You essentially like work with each other, and you essentially see them more than you actually see your own family, so they end up becoming like your home away from home as well. So I like how they kind of, you know, showed us a little bit of that, and like showing them how they in this like kind of again like kind of grow within meeting each other, or like grow, or like kind of things like meeting one another like ends up changing them for like the what seems to be like the better, you know, because we got to see like obviously like Woonhak trying his like hardest like to juggle between being a student and being like working as well, to like I guess to help support that dream that he has of being like in here being an architect, because that's essentially what that whole like model was, and like how he basically like the whole model essentially is everyone's story that we just saw essentially, because, you know, we saw like 2 people in the house with the dog, we saw 2 people on the bridge, which is Woonhak and Jaehyun, and then we saw Ryu and Taesan on the bike or moped or whatever, like through on the street. So it's like, oh, it's like everything is like tying together, and again essentially like creating this whole like universe or whole like story. So I'm like, ooh, I wonder like where this is gonna end up going, or if they'll like, because I don't know if like if they're still, if Hype is still doing the whole like webtoon thing for the newer artists, or if it's just for whoever got to that point while it was like still trending and that's where they left it. But it'd be cool kind of to see them do like build a bit up on it and kind of like show us a little bit like of lore that way, you know, because I feel like I feel like we've had lore for like the first few albums, but that's because like that was a whole like the like what's it called, the who, why, and how was all like a whole essentially like a whole story within itself. But then, you know, once that like finished, like, you know, they kind of moved on, and then we got to see like maybe like not necessarily like a continuation of that lore, but more so it being just like different stories within each album or different concepts. So I'm wondering like where this is going to end up going, you know? So I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I thought it was really cute. I think I kind of want to watch it again to see like if I miss anything, but because, you know, there's also someone like narrating essentially.
한동안 계속 걸어다녔다. 스스로 어디에 있는지도 모른 채로.
I think everyone's just like narrating
우리의 집은 어디 있는 걸까?
because that's Lihan.
나는 생각했다.
See like the little like ray of hope. Oh, so this is, yeah, it's okay, yeah, so it's Woonhak, yeah, who's like, that's his like him doing the drawing out like his idea before he makes it into a model.
카드 여기 돼 있어. 오셨어. 안녕하세요.
오늘 일찍 일어나셨네요.
Yeah, and Jaehyun just like happens to see him. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of weird though. Like, I know like you're a photographer, like, you know, you get inspired by things, but like that's kind of weird to just take a picture of a random person.
귀여워. 강아지 이름이 뭐예요?
가자.
You see?
몰라. 가자.
Oh, I think Tessen's also like maybe whistling like a song. Maybe that's also like a spoiler.
그냥 놓고 갈게요.
I just realized he didn't even eat it, did he? He just like set it down and then went back to. Are you allowed to do that though? Like, I'm wondering. I don't think you're allowed to like leave things outside of your doorway because it's kind of blocking like the rest of the residents from people walking by, and I feel like people would steal it too. But I guess since he's like, it looks like his room's like he doesn't even clean his room because I think he's just like maybe depressed or like again a shut-in, like he doesn't care about anything like our cleanliness, that he's like, oh fuck it, like I don't care, like I guess that's why it's outside. That's so crazy to me. Like, how are you gonna fall asleep like? Because what if someone just stole your dog while you were sleeping? But it makes sense, like, why he ran back home, or ran there, because he lives next door. So, like, oh, he knows his way home, essentially. And he just happened to go into Sung Ho's room because that was the one that ended up opening. He's like, this is not my house, but... Also, you didn't have a... He didn't have a tag on him? I'm like, Lihan, you walked your dog without a dog tag on it with its with a number and a name? Yeah, he's like in despair. That was nice of him though, like to do that for a complete stranger he didn't know.
나 가야겠다. 치우네. 돈 벌어야지. 야, 이거 여기 좀 붙여줘. 나 간다.
It kind of sounds like a mixture of like crying and like the debut album a little bit, if you hear it.
치우네. 돈 벌어야지. 야, 이거. 치우네. 돈 벌어야지. 야, 이거 여기 좀 붙여줘. 나 간다.
Oh, I'm already gonna love it. I already know. I already 100% know I'm gonna end up loving that song. I like the vibe of it already. I'm guessing maybe Lihan like just slid it underneath everyone's door in the apartment complex. Or maybe Tessan, like to every like place he delivered, he just like threw it there.
저 강아지 여기 있어요.
Oh, poor baby. He just sounds so depressed.
나왔어. 먹자.
안 먹어. 좀 별로야?
나와서 걸을래? 아니.
Y'all are making a lot of noise for someone that's trying to sneak out of the hospital. That or maybe like maybe they're meeting up at night because Sungho's like, oh, I don't go out during the day. Like it's gonna be if we're gonna meet up for your dog, like it has to be at night. Like he seems to be like shrouded in the darkness or like liking the darkness, you know?
식사하셨어요?
That like I said, his shirt is funny because like these two both seem very like not wanting to like socialize, and they're very again giving off like that mysterious vibe. So it's funny that he's wearing a shirt that says that on it.
여기에요.
Again, if this is also like the vibe of one of the songs on there, I'ma live. It could be a continuation of that song too, a little bit.
저 특별한 게 없어가지고.
저 사실 바로 옆집이에요.
바로 옆이요?
네. 제가 많이 안 나와가지고
가끔 놀러 오세요. 먼지도 좋아하는 것 같더라고요.
그래도 될까요?
고생 많았어요. 짐 다 챙기면 나오세요.
네, 감사했습니다.
Jaehyun looks great with that like hat in the hair though.
잘 나왔네. 어디서 만난 적 있는 사람들 같아. 근데 왜 형 사진 없어?
나? 안
줘봐, 카메라 줘.
보고. 우리의 집은 어디 있는 걸까? 나는 생각했다. 어쩌면 시간이 잠깐 멈추는 곳인지도 모르겠다고.
They're so cute.
다 했다.
I think so. It's like June 8th, 2026, 6 p.m. But yeah, I like how also like how it ended there with like with Woonak being like, oh, like why isn't there any pictures of you? And he's like, oh, it's because like technically he could take a selfie if he wanted to of himself, but maybe he likes it when someone else takes a picture. He's like, oh, I don't have anyone to take a picture of me. And now, you know, Jaehyun being like having been probably alone before, not alone, but you know what I mean, like on his own before he joined the new like the group. Now, you know, having someone to also rely on, because you know he's always talked about how like how different he was whenever before he joined the lineup for the debut group, and how he was a lot more like darker and a lot more like not as bright or whatever. But then, you know, he kind of like opened up or like changed it a little bit with having now like people to rely on, people to like, you know, talk to and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, it's just a great concept. I really, really like how they're going this like more and like a deeper like meaning to it, or like, you know, something that we can all like relate to in terms of like, you know, or the different meanings of like what home could be to someone, right? But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I shall see you in the next one.